Well, good morning. Donny Walker here. Just showing you guys the spark tester. I don't know if you guys could see that. I turned the lights off and kind of used this spark tester. It's called the Spark Star Ignition Indicator, made by PET 4100. PET makes a lot of those tacks, you can get through Husqvarna and Stihl and Echo. So this is pretty cool. I actually have one on my key ring. So I go to someone's place and their lawnmower or tractor ain't working, I can quickly check it for spark. You just hold it beside the ignition lead here, and as you pull it over, a little blue light flickers, It's been pretty accurate. It works pretty good for a quick spark check. There is better spark checkers like the Echo, what do they call this? A PT 400 for 4,000. This thing goes to your plug. This thing goes to your coil. You can run the saw and you should see it sparking at least 0.6 millimeters on Husqvarna saws. If you watch a YouTube video of Husqvarna, they show you that, and different manufacturers show you how to test it to set this at different millimeters of the spark. You can do it in line while it's running or with it not running and just check your spark. Pretty common spark checker. Every shop should have one. A lot of times the saw will run, or a small engine will run, but not properly, So you're not getting the right amount of spark. I've had a lot of the small Husqvarna saws. People think they're carburetor problems, but a lot of times it's ignitions. They're quite cheap for them, and they're guaranteed for life if it's still a common model. Most ignitions are guaranteed for life of the owner. Most companies honor that. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that real quick. So we're just going to put that aside. I want to show you something else some guys have been asking me about. Hope you guys all caught Buck and Billy Ray's video the other day with Donny Walker on it, cutting some wood with the new 592 and the 585. Good video, Buckin. Love you, buddy. Okay, topping saws. So we got 201 TCs are pretty much your 90% probably used around here of tree toppers. And the old 200s if they still have them or they've rebuilt them. Great saws. I think still has the best topping saw available. Husqvarna one, they're okay. Some guys like them. I'm not going to comment on them. Echo builds good ones too, and they're less priced for a guy that can't afford to pay a lot of money for the stihl. The Echoes work fine too. The Thrive 355 and that small little 2511 as well. What a lot of problems we're having with the topping saws with the M-Tronics is the ignition wiring. Topping saws, people, get stuck a bit. You're pulling on it. You're pulling those mounts. There's a lot of, don't tell me you never get stuck and do that, but everyone does. So the wiring harness, if a guy's broken the mount or broken the top handles on a 201T, and it is an M-Tronic, you got to check your wiring harness. Even if you do a check with an ohmmeter and check your wires and they all seem to be okay, and the things still don't run right, a lot of the times it's these fine wires, especially this yellow one is your main ground and control one. You can see how it's split apart right now, but before this was split at work the other day, I could just feel it. You could feel it as spongy. Well, then it's broken inside. Even if you do your wire test, it's still sort of connected, but as you use the saw, it moves apart and it disrupts the spark and the control of the carburetor fuel. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. If we get a 201T into the shop and M-Tronic one, and it's not running right, and looks like the handle's been broken, we replaced the whole handle and the wiring harness at the same time. Yeah, it's a little bit costly, but it's the way to fix it, man. You change the whole handle if it's broken with the new wiring harness, and go from there. Hopefully that works for you. That's been one of the main causes. That and the solenoids and the carburetors. So if it's not idling right or running too rich, usually it's the solenoid, but if it's running weird and bap and dying out, a lot of times it's this wiring harness. Such fine wires in here. They should be made a little thicker maybe. But yeah. So that's one of your most common problems on the 201 TC these days. So you can replace the wiring harness if your handle isn't wrecked. If your handle is wrecked, keep some of the good parts and keep it for next time if you have another bit of damage. But yeah, they're not very expensive either. Just takes a bit of time to take all the moldings out around the handle and whatnot. Simon Morrison, my coworker, is very good at these. He does a lot of them. He's got it down slick. He can change them pretty fast. Anyways, Tech tip of the day, the stihl topping saws. Yeah, just these little wires do it. And this little one, actually, when you take the starter off and the coil, this is where your main plug goes into your coil. And this is a little ground. There's a little screw right there when you take the starter off. Make sure that's tight. When those are loose, it'll disrupt the spark as well. So good check to do. Check that screw for tightness. And if it has been damaged, the saw, you know it's probably the wiring harness. Other than that, we haven't had many problems with those saws. Solenoids and these, that's it. I do a little muffler mod on the 201Ts. I don't modify it, like I don't port them. I just do a muffler mod. Guys like it, it works good. Keep your saw on it, sticking ass, rubbing around. Have a great rest of the week. It's a little cold out here today. The snow's still here, but icy roads this morning. Check out the walkersawshop.com online store. Have a great day. See ya. Oh, it's TGIF. Yeah.